Hey guys, Sneaky Snake here, Brothers in Arms, World of Warships, and today's video is a game that I had in the Tier 5 German battleship, the Koenig, and I am divisioned up with my buddy Puddin597. He is also in his Koenig, and we are playing some standard battle here on the map Big Race. So the German battleships just released this past weekend to the excitement of almost everybody. We've been waiting a long time for these ships, and they finally arrived, and I have been grinding heavily on them the past few days, and this is one of the highlights of the grind. But I wouldn't necessarily call it a grind on this ship because the Koenig is a fantastic vessel here at Tier 5, and this replay is going to show you pretty much every strength about the ship and the few weaknesses that it does possess. So what about the Koenig? Well, really quickly, I guess the skinny for this thing is that it's very well armored, and it also has some very low caliber guns, at least tier for tier wise. They're only 12 inches compared to the 14 inches you find on ships like New York and Congo. However, they are very good in terms of shell velocity, and they're also very good in terms of penetration. Now, one thing about the Koenig armor-wise is you want to really exaggerate the angle of this thing. Think of in World of Tanks when you're playing your Soviet heavies. You want to really present this kind of a broadside right here where your ship is at a 30, 35, 40 degree angle and not like this where you're more bow on, like say you would be in North Carolina or in Iowa. The frontal armor, the bow armor on this ship it's okay. It's around the mid-20s millimeter-wise for thickness, but the main part of the citadel is about 260 on the Koenig. But the caveat for that is that the gun turrets, the barbettes, are 350 millimeters, and when you present the angle that I showed you back there a few seconds ago, when you present that 20, 30, even 40 degree angle to enemy ships, 14-inch shells and below just have a horrific time trying to penetrate through. Now, the New York has all-for-nothing armor, but my shells don't really care when it's giving a broadside. First salvo of the game, 14,700 damage. Very, very nice. 1 citadel and 3 other target hits. Great way to start the game off. So, again, yeah, when you're angling your thing, when you're angling your Koenig, you just really want to exaggerate it just a little bit, and it works out pretty well for you. And you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about coming up at this this juncture up here. More shots out, the second salvo of the game at the Congo. Shells falling in, get a few hits along the bow of the ship for 6,600 damage. We've lost the first friendly ship of the game, and you're currently losing 294, excuse me, to 379. Now, coming up here, looking for more shots. I see an Omaha 9.3 kilometers away. I do get detected by aircraft. Looking for a shot. It doesn't appear that he's paying very much attention to me. And at 8.8 kilometers, yeah, this is not the position you want to find yourself in an Omaha. All right. Triple Citadel. Devastating strike. First kill of the game. Already up to 48,000 damage here in the Koenig. And wow, that was very, very good stuff there. Now, as you notice, the first 3 salvos, the dispersion on these guns is actually very, very good. They have a range of around 16 kilometers, and I don't know the number for the meters of dispersion off the top of my head, but the ship is also accentuated by the fact that it has the best sigma value in the game at 2.0. Now, what is sigma value, you might ask? Sigma value is the tendency of the shells in each individual turret to be dispersed. You take the sigma value of a ship and all of its turrets, and that's where you get the dispersion, the number, like 250 meters per se. The Koenig has a rating of 2.0. To put that into perspective, every other battleship in the game has a sigma value of 1.6, and a ship at Tier 6, the Warspite, the British premium battleship, has a sigma value of 1.8. This thing, again, is at 2.0. So you'll notice here throughout the replay, and already the first couple salvos, that the accuracy on the ship is bar none. It is second to none against any other battleship in the game, and it allows you just to snipe ships, snipe weak spots, get a lot of shells on target, and do a lot of damage. And when you consider that the ship also has a very healthy reload of around 25 seconds, these 12-inch guns suddenly are doing a lot of damage. So at this point, the scores are dead even, 333 to 333. We've lost 3 ships, and the enemy team has lost 3 ships. Heading up here, there's a Congo. I take a pretty decent hit, 6,600 right there. I was more or less broadside, but I did not get citadeled by his 14-inch guns. There's a couple other destroyers up here as well, and there's 2 Kaisers, the German Tier 4 battleship, that are making their way up here as well. I get a broadside out, get my damage control going, get the repair party working. A couple overpens on the Congo superstructure, 56,000 damage taken care of, 4 citadels, 16 shell hits, 1 ship destroyed on the devastating strike. Now, right here, starting at this moment in the replay, you're going to see just why I enjoy this ship so much. And I had a relatively painless grind in this thing. It's just going to show you again the armor and what these guns can do, and also where you need to aim with these German guns at the lower tiers. Shells flying in on the Karlsruhe. Only managed 2 more overpens for 1680. Now, what I mean by where to aim is that these guns, while they do have very good penetration for 12-inchers, they do not have the kind of penetration that the 14-inch guns would have, obviously, but you'll see exactly what I mean. Tank a shell, 14-inch right there. See how I'm providing quite the broadside as one might think, and I bait him into shooting right into the side of my armor and do really good damage, and in return, 9,600 back to him, almost 10k. 7 out of 10 shell hits at 7 kilometers. You see the angle that I'm providing. It is somewhat exaggerated, to be honest with you. If the Congo was something like an Iowa and he was shooting at me in my Iowa, at this angle, this would just be... I'd be an idiot for providing this much of a broadside. But, again, the belt armor is just so good on this ship. And it's not just the Koenig, but it's accentuated by it because this ship is so powerful. 12,000 damage done there on the Congo right before he gets taken out by torpedoes from the friendly Gnievny, and that was a very nice broadside. Now, this enemy Kaiser is 7.7 kilometers away, and he is completely bow in on me. And this is where I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean by where to aim with these 12-inch guns. And honestly, it's for German battleships as a whole, because the low to mid-tier German battleships have very, very good barbette and citadel armor. And obviously, the ones starting with the Gneisenau at the higher tier have that turtleback armor scheme, which makes getting citadels at point-blank range almost impossible. So when you're aiming at German battleships in particular with these 12-inchers, or any other ship in general, you don't want to aim for the waterline at all. And the reason being is because they're 12-inch guns, and like I said earlier, although they have good penetration, they don't have enough to get through the main belt. However, if you hit above the main belt right there, about 3 or 4 shells hit just below the 2 funnels, I do over 10,000 damage on that salvo. And the next salvo here on the Kaiser is going to be the epitome of what I'm talking about. Very good damage on the Congo with the 12k, very good damage on the Kaiser with over 10k, and now this second Kaiser that is at full health, providing a complete flat broadside. You can't really see it on screen, but I do aim quite a bit above the waterline, shells falling in. All of those shells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, most of them hit just above the armor belt, but below the deck. Wow, what a salvo. Confederate and high caliber taken care of. Already over 100,000 damage done, 108,000 to be specific. And that was a 15k salvo right there. So those 3 salvos on the Congo and on the 2 Kaisers, you see where you have to aim. Just above the just above the waterline, above the armored belt, but below the guns. And you want to aim for the mid portion of the ship. You never, ever, at close range in these ships, want to aim at the barbettes on the turrets, because at decent angles, they're just going to ricochet like it's nothing. And even in this thing, I remember a game where I took a 16-inch shell right on the chin, and it bounced. And then I took another, and it did very minimal damage. And then I took another, and it did very little damage. And right there, 3,600 damage done. 3 shells hit the Kaiser. A couple of them penetrated, once again, above the main portion of the belt. And I'm able to get some very, very nice damage done to him. So far in the game, 112,000 damage, 1 ship destroyed, 53 target hits, and 4 citadels. We're not even 10 minutes into the game. Heck, not even 9 minutes into the game, and the amount of damage that I've picked up has already given me a heck of a result, but there's still more to be done. At this point, the scores are 433 to 318. The enemy team has 6 ships left, while we have 7. Clemson, 7.8 kilometers away, coming in towards us. He's got just over 2,000 health left. And right here, you're going to also see some very, very nice accuracy. Shooting destroyers at close range in this thing is extremely easy. A whole lot of shells hit. Only 1 needed to take him out. But if that wouldn't have done the trick, then there were certainly 5 or 6 others in that very nice tight grouping that would have taken care of business. Now, 2 kills so far in the game, 114,000 damage. So yeah, again, I just want to hammer it home when you guys are watching this video. Aim above the waterline and aim below the gun turrets. Right at that mid portion as you're looking at the Koenig right now, and all the other German tier 3 through 6 battleships in particular, right where you're looking on the Koenig, where the secondaries are located. You get nice penetrating damage going right through there, in between the 2 funnels, and it just gives you Very, very good stuff. Now, getting a citadel on enemy German battleships, even American battleships as well, very difficult with these 12-inch guns, especially at ranges like this. I'll never get a citadel at 15 kilometers against a German battleship using these 12-inch guns. It's just not going to happen. Shells falling in on the Kaiser. One shell hits. It is not a penetration. It is a ricochet. My buddy Puddin behind me gets some shots out. Now you're going to see where his shells land on the Kaiser. He aims just above the waterline. Shells falling in. Gets a nice about 5,000-ish damaging salvo. And that's really good damage for these guns at range. If you get 5K salvos consistently at 12, 13, 14 kilometers, that's good stuff. More shells falling in on the Kaiser. 2,700 damage done. 2 shells impact the target. And now you're going to watch Puddin behind me. He's going to launch yet another salvo at the Kaiser. And again, pay attention to where the shells hit the target at. They do not hit at the waterline. They hit above the armored belt. Boom. There it is. 8,000 damage done from Puddin. And he secures his first kill of the game. So, again, please, I may sound annoying, I know, but do what we're telling you. These ships have the capability to do so. They're very accurate, and especially the Koenig here, Tier 5, very, very strong stuff. I did take a shot at the Gnievny, however, I am just a bit too low. My buddy Puddin manages to get a few hits. Now we're pretty much just trying to track down the last enemy ship left, the New York. He's at 35,000 health, and he's at about 15.2 kilometers away, angled in towards us. Get a full broadside out. Now, this is where German battleships do struggle down here, at least in terms of their armor piercing. I'm going to get consistent damage on this New York when he's angled in, but the damage is going to be very minimal. Another 2,700 salvo. These 12-inch guns really do start to pick up the pace in terms of damage-wise, at least when the closer you get. And although that might be the case for all battleships, it's these 12-inch guns in particular that really need to close the distance to be able to do significant damage. And most of the damage that I have done in this game, as a matter of fact, has been 10 kilometers and in. So, with the exception of that very first salvo at the beginning of the game, another 2,700 damage on the New York, with the exception of the salvo that I had on that guy at the beginning of the game, when he went full broadside at about 15 kilometers, all the damage that I've done has come at extremely short range. Up to 122,000 damage, about 8 minutes left in the game, and now the New York is giving me more or less a broadside, and again, you can't see it on screen, I aim quite a bit above the waterline, but just enough to impact that thin upper armor belt. 12,000 damage done. Very, very great damage there. And again, no citadels, but that's okay. Anytime you roll for five figures with these German battleships, it's good stuff. Now, I'm about to take my next salvo here on the New York. He's full broadside to me, 8.7 kilometers away. Get the broadside out. Shells flying on the target. My buddy Puddin also shot at him as well. More shells impact above the armored belt, and I get about 7,000 damage here. Now, here's the Koenig's armor on the broadside. It's about 260 millimeters, 250 millimeters, something like that. For some reason, I decided to turn broadside to this guy. I have no idea why. I guess I just wanted to have a higher repair cost at the end of the game. I am completely perpendicular to these shells that are coming in on me. There's one citadel right there. Take 10,000 and then another 2,400 damage from him. You know you get you took a citadel on your German BBs when you get a turret knocked out like that. And you see there when you completely cross the enemy's T and you're getting hit at a completely perpendicular angle, the German armor is still not going to help you out there. And yeah, you just really don't want to do that. Getting the last broadside here at the enemy New York, trying to secure my third kill of the game, and I managed to do so. Last enemy ship destroyed, and that was a fantastic game here in the König. Alrighty guys, going to take a quick look here at the post-battle results. 288,000 credits received, 7,800 total XP, devastating strike Confederate and high caliber, 147,000 damage done, 4 citadels, 87 target hits, and 3 ships destroyed. Taking a quick look at the team score, easily tops on the leaderboard, 1,735 base XP, and my buddy Puddin putting in a solid effort with 2 kills and 990 base XP of his own. So this replay really shows the Koenig and just how deadly these guns are. And don't be fooled by the 12-inch caliber. These ones can do some serious damage if you know exactly where to aim. And I really hope this video shows you guys where you need to. So with that being said, Sneaky Snake, Brothers in Arms World of Warships, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.